going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games BS, brought to you by Den Media Group, um, presented by thehumidor.com, the go-to cigar shop. Go to thehumidor.com, get all the things you want: cigars, related cutters, torches, humidors, boxes of cigars, whatever. You spend over 150 bucks, you'll probably get free shipping. I think that's still true. I need my rich friends Blake to find that out. If you go and you spend you type in sports, then at checkout, you get 20% off. So basically, you just gotta pay the taxes. So basically, if you're in the state of Florida, it's a 3%, you get 3% off. It's kind of cool. I think it's a good deal. But you know, that's what it is. Inside of the world's greatest, the world famous Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. Like the best cigar lounge in America. If you haven't been here, if you've been to Jacksonville and you ain't been here yet, then you're missing out, man. Like one, we have a Sunday brunch where my boy Cheese does everything. So it's all very immaculate, delicious, delectable. You've seen the pictures, you know the vibes. Next one we'll do October 6th. Actually, that Thursday through Sunday, we're doing an entire weekend. My girl Tracy's putting it on. It's Jack Cigar Fest. One of my tailors, the person who actually originally put me in a suit, those guys will be here doing some different stuff. It'll be very grown and sexy and shit. Like a lot of high value perfume and cologne, a lot of good suits, a lot of women who I say slightly used not high mileage, slightly used vintage vehicles. That's how I describe cougars. So they'll be here looking good, looking sexy, smoking cigars. No hookah. This ain't for you if you're a hookah person, which is nothing wrong with it. But that's kind of what we do here in Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. All the different stuff. So I'm saying all this while I'm trying to share this in the different places. So if you guys would, you go ahead, tell a friend to tell a friend. You know, if you share it on your social medias, that's how we grow and we expand our brand. There'll be some announcements, hopefully on Friday or at worst Monday, that I'll be able to make with the show and some of the direction that we're going. Some good stuff. I know a lot of people, still complain, and rightfully so, because I miss it. I miss Dennis too. But obviously, some people have been paying attention and taking notes. So sometimes these deals take a little bit longer than what you would like them to do. But some housekeeping stuff. Again, still trying to get this the YouTube page to over 2,000 subs. I'm still trying to get the different shows to over 1,000 views and stuff like that. We'll start the giveaways starting back in October. But if we can get that thing to 2,000 subs, $200 to a random subscriber, $3,300 to a random subscriber. Big shit popping, little things stopping. I think that's what T.I. said. Something like that. Sounds good. What I have going right now, though, is we play Boston College at 8 p.m. on ACC Network. Yay! This is what we need to think, Miles. We gotta do we gotta get the clap, or one time for Clue, drop Clues bombs on them. So we'll get some of that shit going. That would be the upgrades that you see if this new deal comes through. You'll see a better studio, you'll see better ingredients, better pizza, better bitches, better. You'll see. Actually, I might start. I think that's what I'm going to do when I do my live show. I'm going to tell my business partner Scott, I need two of the baddest midgets in America. I want one on the left, one on the right. Each time we do, I'm talking about bad. Like they look just like Barbie dolls. I just think that would be a really cool thing. I'm sorry. They can be normal size. We're not going to discriminate against normal size people. I was just thinking in my head, like, damn, that would be kind of cool, like a Playboy Mansion type vibe, right? Like you have your live show, you have two very, very beautiful women right next to you serving you. Like, right now I'm a little parched. It'll give me a good refreshing beverage. And while the other guys watching, we talk about sports. But then I was like, well, what can we do to make it more like a big game style? And I like midgets. I'm enamored with midgets. There's nothing wrong with. And I'm sorry if I'm not using the correct term. Don't want the community coming after me. I am an ally of the little people. I'm a little people's ally. I'm an ally of LGBTQ2QVCY, QVC too. Like, I don't care what you guys do. I want you to live your best life. I believe everybody has the right to be miserable. So if you want to get married, go and be my guest, man. Let that shit get taxed like a motherfucker. They tax the marriage and divorce, coming in and coming out. Do it as much as you want to do, bro. I'm all for, or sis, or whatever you are, they, them, whatever. Do what you think. Do your thing. But what I have going on is we have the tailgate, 8 p.m. game. We have a tailgate when there's an 8 p.m. game. So that stuff is up. It will be in the description on the SoundCloud, in the description on the YouTube. It's already my pin post. $40, all you can eat, all you can drink, all you can smoke, if you can find it. That's gonna always be the thing because people get like they got lost. But it's lot 19, which is the parking garage. Partnerships with that coming soon too, hopefully. A lot of good talks, man. But again, I'm not a meeting guy. I hate talking outside of getting paid to talk. So I like to see the results in the action. But it looks like a lot of this stuff is coming to fruition. But we're also doing a ticket drive. So outside of Clemson and UF, every home game that's remaining, we are going to raise money to purchase tickets for youth and families to come to an FSU game. So right now we've got 20 tickets raised. Hopefully we'll have more. If you go to my pin post, you can check that out on Twitter. It's also my pin post on Facebook. We'll put it on the Sports Den pages as well. $25 a ticket is right now what it's going for. We will try to raise as much as we can. If we can get 1,000 people in there, that's a lot. But if we can get 100, that'd be great. That's probably more realistic. But I also know I'm talking with Mr. Ponder, Stephen Ponder, with the boosters. So we're gonna make this thing happen. We're gonna get some kids and some families in these seats, and they're gonna have a great seminal experience. So they'll be guests to my tailgate. So if I give them tickets, they come to the tailgate. They eat what Big Game eats. The kids don't drink, but the adults can have a refreshing beverage. We'll have Capri Suns and juices and fruit snacks and shit for kids because my kids have the high end shit. But we're not going to give them what my kids get. My kids have organic fruit snacks, which taste terrible, are awful. We're going to get real fruit snacks. So you're going to get Welch's fruit snacks. We can afford it. We're going to do it. We're going to make sure the kids are taken care of because remember, it's fuck them kids, not fuck these kids. These kids are our kids. We like these kids. So that's kind of what's going on our end, some housekeeping stuff. Before we really get into the meat and potatoes of the show, sad news. One of the things that's been happening to me as I get older is death bothers me a little bit more. Death didn't bother me when I didn't think I was going to live to be this age. I'm old right now. I am Carl Winslow's age from Family Matters. And if you watch Family Matters, Carl Winslow was like he didn't have no hairline. Life looked like it was over. And like being 30s in your 80s, being 30 in your 80s was like death. I remember one of the things that I told my father-in-law was I was like, man, you were old in the 80s. So you're like you're one step, like you're great grandfather right now, bro. So I'm saying all that to say is that the older I get, two things shock me. I've always hated when babies die or young people die. But now that I'm older, when older people die, it's a shock. But it's not a shock as much as it is because they died. It's because I thought they were going to live forever. It's like you've only known them. You only know this person. And we just had a guy, Ramal Coleman. Not Ramal, excuse me. Apologize. Ramal is the son. Deacon Coleman is how I knew his dad. But went to my mother's church. I actually saw this man, and his kids don't watch this, so I'm gonna be okay by saying it. Can I share how I know he went out with it? And I'm proud of myself for making sure this man's last few days on this earth were great. I'm gonna share it whether you like it or not. So when my boy Juice got married, June 11th, Trey's birthday, but June 10th, OJ told me that, hey, I want you to be in charge of my last day as a single man. And I said, are you sure you want that? Is your wife okay with that? Does she know all of the things that I am capable of? Because see, every woman in my life has accepted this. I came in like this. Nothing about me has changed. Maybe some things have changed, but I'm a little softer than I was. But like my core principles and who I am have not changed. So he said, yes, actually, I've only become better and more efficient at debauchery because of who I hang with. My guy said, hey, have at it. I want to have everything. I said, one thing I want to tell you is that when you cross that finish line, you're going to be 100% sure you were ready. So we had strippers at my cigar lounge. And everybody came to the cigar lounge. And it was a cigar event. It was great. It was amazing. I had one friend, I've never seen her in that capacity get that sloshed. She couldn't even stand up. It was amazing. She was apologizing to me, and I was like, "No, I didn't know you had that in you. I've only known her nothing better than seeing a corporate woman let her guard down, and you start seeing her as just a regular person. It's amazing." But Mr. Coleman, I saw him with a big ass Kool-Aid smile because he left this world with with two handfuls of titties in his hand. We had strippers. He was again. He's gone. He's still a great man. Nothing wrong with strippers. The naked hustle is amazing. Don't judge this man. If there ain't strippers in heaven, send me to the other place. I'm cool. Wherever the strippers are at, that's where I want to go. Because it's kind of cool. Like everybody deserves. They talk about sex in the Bible, so I don't even know why people trip about that. David is the only man that was literally said he was after God's own heart. And he had 5 wives and 3 concubines. Remember I told you the Bathsheba story? He was walking up and said, that bitch is fine. Give me that. And then, go back and look at past stuff. This ain't James Bible stories. We'll probably redo that in the off season when we need more content. But I saw him with that. It's like it's like having 2 scoops of raisins. Like, 2 handfuls. It was boom, right there. It was healthy. Healthy way to go out. And then he was at my book bag drive. He saw me giving the impact. And all I can remember based on all of that is this smile. Now that's people that I actually know. Somebody named Peanut Butter and Jelly Smoke or something like that, or Rock, P&B Rock died the other day. Extremely sad. Extremely, extremely sad. Because it seems like he was a rapper that a lot of people cared about. I can't recall any of his music. I actually was sad. It was more sad at first because I thought Pete Rock died. Like the old rapper, like who made Reminisce. Pete Rock. It's like, damn, Pete Rock and CL Smooth is gone. They were like, no, it's P&B Rock. And I'm like, okay. That's still sad. Because, what's the purpose of getting celebrity and having to look over your shoulder? Like the whole purpose of getting yourself out of a certain lifestyle is that you don't have to live that lifestyle anymore. It's like not even cool to be it's more dangerous to be a rapper than it is any other profession right now. So you have to ask yourself. But I will say this. There are certain ways that a lot of us now, I'm not an old head, I'm an unk. I think I like unk more than I like old head. But like, I don't wear, the only thing I wear that's kind of flashy is my shoes. You would have to know, though, you have to be a sneakerhead to know what shoes I'm rocking, though. So you won't know that the shoes are, because I'm not rocking Louis Vuittons, not rocking Gucci. That's not my style. I like high-end Jordan 1s or exclusive Jordans. I like my Yeezys. I like stuff like that. But you would really have to know about those shoes in order to want to rob me, right? So, and if you want to, you can have them. I'm also saddened by the place where he went out at, because I've only heard about Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I've never been to LA. I've never really had a desire since Tupac and all them cats started rapping about it. I don't want to go like right now in LA. I don't think I could wear what I'm wearing right now. This represents some fucking gang out there. I don't want to go no place where I can't wear what I want to wear. Like that doesn't make any fucking sense. You can't wear specific hats. What if you're a Yankees fan? You're gonna die because you're a Yankees fan, because that represents some gang, and some gang doesn't want you wearing their colors, and then some rival gang wants you to do this. But I like breakfast and I like soul food. And Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles is apparently what they do. And I saw that plate that young man's baby mama, who's got to be going through hell right now, posted. And on God, that is the worst grits I've ever seen in my life. Light skin ass yams. I'm not going to no place. And then I got a bunch of friends right now who are talking all this kind of shit. Like, oh, that's why you got to keep strapped. And I love guns. Shout out to Green Acre Sporting Goods. Matter of fact, go to Green Acre Sporting Goods. Make sure you get your concealed carry. Make sure you get all the shit that you possibly need, and they got it. Z and them got it. But I don't know what you guys have going on. But I've never been. I tried to kind of emulate, like, what would I be if somebody got the drop on me? That's not it. That's delicious. somebody got the drop on me, right? And I'm pretending that I'm eating some waffles. Like, dog, you can't do it. It's nobody's on point like that. Like, imagine you sitting at, what Waffle House, and somebody gets the fucking drop on you, and all of a sudden, like, that's why you gotta be strapped. You gotta be prepared. No, bro. Nobody. If you have to walk around life like that, that's not a life worth living. Cat Williams. Nobody's that mad. But when you all draped up and dripped out, got your jewels on, you looking like a meal. That's always been hood logic 101. But I get it, as a rapper, as an entertainer, you got to do these different things. But that's why you got to hire security. And I ain't talking about your partners. You can put your partners on your security team, but I'm talking about, like, if you ever watched Power, when Ghost hired the Russians, I want motherfuckers with suits around me. So if I like, it's like you'll know James is a multi-millionaire by the way I move, and it's not that I'll move very differently. It's just that you're going to see me have a driver because I don't like driving, and you're gonna also see a bunch of, everywhere I go, somebody with a suit and an earpiece and an IFB will be around. Will be in front, and they will be holding, and they'll do the shooting. It's their job to secure the perimeter and make sure that I can enjoy my fucking waffles. And it's unfortunate that that's how you have to be. But when you get to the top, everybody, like, when you're climbing up to the top, you're not really a threat. But once you get to what people perceive to be the top, now you look like food. You look like something to eat. You look like somebody that they got to push off the top. And I hope that the people who killed this man, rot in hell. I hope they get everything that they deserve. I also look at these cats. I look at these cats who are, I think it was wild is the guy a week ago. Yeah, the Fruit of Islam. Nobody fucks with Fruit of Islam. What's odd is the girlfriend. He deactivated his girlfriend's page for sharing their location too much, and there are people who are blaming her. And it's not her fault per se, but you got to know who your man is. And this is what I tell people all the time. Actually, when I told somebody this, they really got it. And people would have seen him if he was recognizable. They would have posted that he was there too. But what I learned from Charlemagne is he doesn't post where he's at until he's already gone. And I was like, damn, that's some wisdom right there. But when you're moving a certain way, you have to, like, you can't just post everything. I post about my boys a little bit, but in a minute, like, actually, it's people who still don't know about my second child. My second son. And they're just kind of getting around to seeing it. And it's a reason why. When I wasn't, now the people know about Trey because I wasn't really in the media or spotlight like that. I was just training people. And people knew Trey was coming before Trey was even, like, thought of, before I even had a mom for Trey. Trey is the prophecy fulfilled. Like, that's what I've never wanted to do. All this other shit is randomly figuring it out. The only thing I've ever wanted to be in life was a father and name my own child. So, anyways, I do all that, but I don't post. My sister's in the spotlight. You can find very few pictures of my mother currently. You'll never know. You'll never see a picture of my mama's house. You'll never see a picture of what my house color looks like. You'll never see a lot of different things, and the specific reasons is because I'm crazy. And I don't want no problems coming to my home because I don't care. I am equal opportunity, man, woman, child, fully functional, lost a limb. It don't matter. Green Acres will be fully used if you come messing with my house. But I also don't want people to get the drop on me. And it weirded me out in the beginning for people to be like, yo, you at Legoland with your son. I saw you. And I'm like, yo, I didn't let nobody know I was at Legoland. And then just to find, but again, so it's things like that. Most people mean peace, but you never know, especially when you're in an industry that promotes violence. And I don't know if his music promotes violence, but it's not. We all know it's not rock and roll. It ain't country music. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Now, the last person that died that really bothers me, and he died of I guess of natural causes. I don't know, but he was 51 years old. He has one of the best R&B songs of all time. It's Jesse Powell. Um, he made this song called "You," and this one hurts me, man. I think it's one of the links I sent you, Miles. In the like before I get to the names, the breakdowns. But Jesse Powell, this little light skinned dude, had a song. I think Tyra Banks was in it, and the song was just so powerful. Um, it was it probably might be the last one. No, I'm saying up there, like before you get to the highlighted stuff.
Yeah.
But like the last like the third, yeah, that link I think. But damn, I thought I sent it to you. Maybe I didn't. But anyways, the song is it's called "You." It's like it's just such a beautiful crafted song. It's like the way you walk, the way you talk, the way
Oh
you
yeah.
say my name and smile, the way you move me, the way you soothe me, the way you speak softly through the night. In the morning you rise and open your eyes. I just wanna be here with you, babe. Just wanna be yours from this day forth. It's just I don't care how hard you are, it makes you feel bubbly inside. It makes you believe in love. Like, I don't know who he wrote that about or who he sung that about, but I believe it. And unfortunately, this man passed, and that's how you become a legend. You become a legend by making music that people can really, really buy into and that people can believe. So, rest in peace, Jesse Powell, and his family. And we just got another donation for 4 more tickets. Shout out to that. But going into that to sports, so that people don't get all emotional and shit on me. What the fuck is going on at Texas A&M? Some things I can't get into because it's too close to home, but you know, is wild. They wilding out in the coaches' ranks, off the field, and even in the student section. Can somebody explain to me? It's the first link. Because this guy, Max Toscano, says we as a nation need to have a conversation about the fans of Texas A&M football and whether or not they pose a threat to national security. First thing they do, they have a yelling practice. Every game, some kids get together and they talk about what they're going to yell, their chants. It's kind of weird shit, but nothing tops this. And just show the video of that, because I've never seen this before. I have never had a desire to squeeze my genitals
Oh.
in front of people. But I have definitely never had a desire to squeeze my genitals in unison in a centipede formation with other men. And I don't know if this helps you yell louder. I don't know what the purpose of this is, but like, why do they squeeze their nuts? Why are you groping yourself on national TV? And why is this okay for children to see? Because this should be, there's something wrong with this. But this behavior is what the fans are. So now we go into what the behavior of the actual student athletes are. If you go to the next link, Miles, it's just showing that Jimbo Fisher has literally lost control of this program, because after the loss, you see Texas A&M five-star freshman DB Denver Harris on IG Live showing himself flying through a parking garage. Like, this man is driving as reckless as, was it Henry Ruggs? And what Henry Ruggs did was he was drunk, but like this man,
Wow.
yeah, is it on the YouTube yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy is wilding, man. Like,
I do believe there's something out there.
anything could have happened.
I put supercharge on this bitch.
It sounds like he's listening to Moneybag Yo. So his behavior is very debaucherous. I have never done anything productive listening to Moneybag Yo. So
No one
I
has.
think Moneybag Yo it screams of toxicity. So you got players doing this. Then you got guys like Anaya Smith coming out and talking about there were times when people weren't bought in. You could see it in practice and it showed in the game. And he's describing about the App State game. The word, anybody who follows me knows the words I hate to my core are bought in. What the fuck does that mean? Like either like what's the opposite of that? You're like you go out. That means you mean to tell me because no coach, whether you believe in the coaches or not, no coach goes and spends hours upon hours of watching film and creating stuff to go out and say I want to purposely lose. And no player should because there's 20 hours more than that, but 20 hours you spend practicing in the heat. That's not including camp. That's not including workouts, off-season workouts. You spent all that time to because if you're not bought in, you purposely went out there and laid an egg. You're the one we see on national TV. Jimbo making almost $10 million a year. Not you. And now you're not bought in? The fuck out of here, man. Jimbo is one step away from having everybody write doing a promise contract. And anybody who's all Florida State fans remember this one right here. They remember the fucking promise contract. After the Louisville ass whooping, that made the entire nation know who the fuck Lamar Jackson was. He made them boys sign a promise contract that they would no longer give up. My good friend Freddie, yes, on God. So Freddie Stevens, I always pick on him a little bit about it now. But at the time, my little bro DeMarcus Walker, when I found out about that shit, I picked up the phone and said, "Man, what the fuck is going on with y'all? Why are y'all writing Why is he making y'all promise like to never give up? This is not the sport for that, man. Football." There's only one other sport that's more physically dominant, machismo than football. With two other ones, I'll say boxing and MMA, but I'll just put those as combat sports. Because if you give up in a combat sport, you could die. Giving up in football sucks because there is at least you can get knocked out in the combat sport, and somebody comes in and waves the flag for you, or your corner can throw in the white towel. Football, especially on the collegiate level, there's no mercy rule. You got 15 minutes that you're going to have to play no matter what. So if you're getting beat 60-0 in the first half, you got 30 more minutes of ass kicking on the plate. I just don't understand, but like again, and then it's just reminiscent of you got the coaches, you got players, you got fans. You got fans doing racist shit. Remember, this is the program where people were like, if we got to change our song, I can't do it. I can't have those colors. They want everything. We're going to sing this racist song that we've sang for the rest of our lives. This is what happens. Maybe the players are just like, man, fuck these cats, man. Like, we can't do this, man. And they got the most money. It is why I laughed when I was first told in 2017, before the Alabama loss. And it was so specific and the person was so right that I just had to believe them. They were so right in the past. But it was, like now contracts are big, right? But Jimbo kind of kicked off all of this. And Miles, when I tell you, it was so fucking specific. It was Jimbo's going to leave to go to Texas A&M for $75 million. I said, bullshit. I tweeted it, though. But I was just like, bullshit. Because, anything, because Jimbo was supposed to leave to go to LSU the year before. Right. Everybody was like, Jimbo's leaving Florida State to go to LSU. Right. But then LSU fucked it up because they fired Les Miles, and then they brought him back. It's a site. And then they fired him again, and they promoted Coach O. But I was like, $75 million, man, that's a lot of fucking money, man. Like, Jimbo ain't worth $75 million. Like, shit, fucking leave. And then that's the year they went, and then Jimbo was begging and pleading for all kinds of shit. And there's a lot of stuff that went into it, man. But, I can't
get over this promise.
Oh, man, yeah, it was a promise, though. It was a promise. Like a ring. Basically, it was a literal contract. He had a team meeting.
But with no money.
No, nothing. I mean, he was paying players, but like
that's different. Because he was promised his $10 million or whatever, so there are legal terms for promises and contract, but these boys ain't getting no.
But like it's like again, it was just like I never surrender contract. I couldn't fathom Robert Bowden forcing us to do that. But when you think about Jimbo and Jimbo's trajectory, and this is a case for paying college student athletes, everybody is like student athletes shouldn't be paid. They don't work. Pay them like employee. Charge them taxes. Yeah, that stopped people from getting paid. I'll show you. We'll pay you, but we're going to make you pay taxes. Like, we're not going to have to pay taxes one day. Such poor mentality. I see why the 1% thinks the way they think about some of you people. Because your rationale about shit doesn't make any sense. We'll make them employees and we'll make them pay taxes. You know what? I know what we'll do. We'll make them pay back their school. Like, bitch, tuition is under $2,500. So you want me to pay $5,000 a year? Bet. Give me 60, I'll pay 5,000. Matter of fact, round it up to 10. Give you a solid 10. I'll pay 10. Books, my room and board, all that other shit. Because if airplanes and everything else comes out of your... Anyways, I've already done this before. Like, y'all don't know. But the reason why student athletes should be paid is because a lot of these rich, wealthy white men, I'm not making this black or white, I'm making an observation. There are very few black coaches. A lot of old white men are getting paid off of the backs of young African-American males. Yes, there are white American males as well, but the statistics say 75% of all student athletes in football are African-American male. It's not black or white. It's just observations and statistics that y'all like to use. But there's always a few that literally launch careers. Jimbo Fisher's career was launched, and we talk about how good of a coach he is because of Jameis Winston. And every year is proving that maybe Jameis Winston made Jimbo more than Jimbo made Jameis Winston. And if you look at the quarterbacks before and you look at the quarterbacks after, while he did have quarterbacks consistently get drafted first overall, when you look at Jamarcus Russell, Christian Ponder, and E.J. Manuel, none of them have been overwhelming. Their careers in college were just okay. And E.J. in Christian's case, they were drafted in the first round because there was a run on quarterbacks. But when you really look at how mediocre, and David Hale joint always has these fun-filled fact shits that he puts out. A brief, colorful overview on every high school quarterback Jimbo has signed since 2012. Some guy named Sean. That's Sean Clifford. Average Jimbo starting quarterback since 2015. Basically, he's gotten $7.5 million per year to churn out Sean Clifford's. I have no idea who Sean Clifford is. I'm sure he's a great person, but this is who I do know is. John Franklin, a 3-star, the number 30 dual threat quarterback in the nation in 2013. 0 career starts, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Never threw a pass at FSU, went JUCO, had a 7-touchdown game that was called due to a brawl on Last Chance U, transferred to Auburn, then to FAU, currently Tampa Bay Bandits of the USFL. J.J. Constantino, possibly the worst quarterback in FSU history. 4-star, number 3 pro-style quarterback, 2014. Career starts 0, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I'll spare you the details. J.J. went into the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, was so bad that they had to put back in an ankle-broken Sean McGuire because J.J. couldn't look like he had never played the sport of football before. DeAndre Francois, 4-star, number 3 pro-style quarterback, 2015, 25 career starts, 36 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. Great in 2016, injured in 2017, kicked off of FSU after an assault charge in 18. Was supposed to walk on to FAU, transferred to Hampton. Now he plays for the Board 8 football club of that I don't know, the league where you can text message the plays. DeAndre Johnson, Jacksonville kid, 0 career starts, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in his career. Dismissed at FSU before freshman season, transferred to JUCO, then to FAU, hospitalized with blood clots, went to Texas Southern, plays for the New Jersey Generals of USFL. I think he would have been great at Florida State, by the way. Malik Henry, crackhead. James Blackman actually didn't do very bad, but he seems like he's been in college forever. He is currently with Arkansas State. Bailey Hockman, retired from football, which is the most hilarious thing you can do in college to focus on family. James Foster went to Texas A&M, threw 9 career passes at Texas A&M, announced his transfer in 2020, changed his mind, opted out COVID season, transferred to Charlotte, started week 2, lost against William and Harry, hurt after 13 plays. Zach something, Haynes King. Basically, it's a bunch of mid. And some of these guys have really, really high stars. Like one guy is Connor Wingman, is a 5-star number 2 quarterback in 2022. He might be the guy that changes it all. But right now, he has a terrible history of getting quarterbacks. He has a great history of recruiting. He has a terrible history of putting things together. Now, what I've always believed is if you get Jimbo at a place for long enough, he's going to acquire enough talent to luck himself into something. But the fact that he doesn't have an offensive coordinator and he's a head coach is very difficult. I think really what set it off with Jimbo is what sets it off for most men. Infidelity. Now, the problem with most men is most men know how to cheat. You cheat. We talked about it with David. You walk around doing something, see a bad bitch, say you want to get that bitch. Especially powerful men. And what I mean by powerful men, rich, wealthy, famous. You're the guy at Florida State. You got co-eds that are going to throw that thing at you. You got regular people that public, especially in a city like Tallahassee, that's really, really small. And there's really nowhere for you to really go and hide out and be amongst your peers. Because even Killearn, the rich side of Tallahassee, them people, you're talking about 6-figure people. You know, there are some multimillionaires, but you really are still going to a Publix where you can run into some chick who's really trying to get her come up on you. But the hard part is that when you give a woman everything, which is why I believe women shouldn't have to work. When you give a woman everything, she has time on her hand. And what do they say about time? It's the devil's workshop. Or idle mind is the devil's workshop. They go get personal trainers. They get all these different things. And I still remember to this day, I don't give a damn what anybody says. Taylor Jacobs banged the shit out of Candy Fisher, dog. And I know his wife got mad at me, and she said it didn't happen. It was a vicious rumor. So I went to school with his wife. I'm sorry. If you don't believe it still, then tell Tupac, because he cares when nobody else cares. Big Game wants to fuck up Taylor Jacobs for fucking up the FSU program. Because we were supposed to have a dynasty. That fucked his head up. Because it's not so much that she cheated. It's that, because women always say men cheat down, right? But have you ever really looked at who women cheat with? It's always like the first person they can find or the most vicious thing that they can do. Not only was Taylor a young black guy, which nobody wants to know that their wife's getting their back blown out by a young black guy. Even old black men don't want to know that shit. Because you already got the visions of like a 12-inch tallywhacker beating her cervix into her throat. But he's a Florida Gator. He's a former Florida Gator great. So you didn't even like think to go get like a non-fucking rival. You fucked a young black man from the rival school. That's fucked up. Again, Candy Fisher, you're not my friend. Don't really give a fuck about what your story is. You fucked somebody. And I'm saying, I'm not even judging you. Because here's the thing that Jimbo should have done. Candy wasn't a virgin when you met her. You should have got over that shit, go fuck you some new bitches, and get your life together. But that's really why you left Florida State. We all know, because you kept having to go to Publix. Same Publix that Taylor probably goes to. You wanted to fuck him up, but you know you can't fight. And that's what's going on. Now, moving forward, because this is what I know Jimbo wanted to do. When he found out that his wife was getting banged by a young black dude, I could tell you what Jimbo wanted to say. Because sometimes it rolls off your tongue, especially when you're in the house. But you can't say this because you're white, unfortunately. It's one of the downsides of being white. It seems like the only downside of being white is that you can't say the N-word. And for some reason, I've never seen a good scenario where using the N-word goes well. But every day, the rich and powerful or some random motherfucker wants to go out and say the fucking N-word. And poor Chris Paul, I think it's Chris Paul's fault. Why is everywhere Chris Paul goes, the owner just lets the nigger word roll off his tongue? Got to remember, he was with those Clippers with Donald Sterling. And now the NBA's investigating Suns owner Robert Sarver because they found he was using the N-word, repeating it, or saying what a black person said. It's always that. Like, why can't you go look at my LSU tailgate? and you'll see how you should do it. I don't know if that's how they always do it. I'm sure they say it with a passion when nobody's around, but they had the respect enough, probably because there was a lot of black people, and they feared they were going to get their asses whooped if they did. But I saw a kid, and I gave him some moonshine when he did that. He said, "You ain't talking about my and what you talking about. Cases moving silent and my don't talk a lot. I don't say. I mean, he stopped himself. He bleeped himself. So I know it could be done. But he said during 2004 free agency recruitment, he used the word 2012, 2013 team fucking building exercises. He used the word, and he did what I often do in the comfort of my own home when I'm watching the Warriors play. He used it against the evil light-skinned empire. 2004 recruitment. During a meeting in connection with the recruitment of a free agent, Sarver told a story about his college days in Arizona in which he said the N-word and repeating what he claimed a black person had said. 4 witnesses present for the meeting offered accounts of that, though slightly different from one another, directly supporting this finding. 2012 team building exercise. In the presence of players, some members of the coaching staff, and front office, Sarver said the N-word and purporting to repeat what he had heard a black player say. The exercise involved each player complimenting the player next to him and identifying something the speaker could do to help the team win more games. According to several witnesses, a Black Suns player made a statement that included the N-word. Most witnesses could not recall the precise comment that made, but one recalled the player saying that a white Suns player said something African Americans calling them. After all the players had spoken, Sarver summarized what the players had said, and in doing so, repeated the N-word. 3 witnesses said the players reacted negatively to the repetition of the N-word, and the group's urging a team representative told Sarver that he could not use the word. So at least in 2013, if his entire life he didn't know he couldn't use the word, he was warned in 2013, do not say the N-word. So he cannot feign that, I didn't know I couldn't use the word. 2012, wait a minute, was it 2? Okay, I got that one. All right. 2016, Suns versus Warriors. Damn, this is the exact date. Sarver complained to Black Suns coach that the Warriors player who was black had been allowed to say the N-word during the game without receiving a technical foul. I just believe it was Draymond Green. It's got to be Draymond Green, right? All right. The coach recalled that Sarver burst into his office and said, why does the Warriors player get to say that? I'm just going to say it because this sounds like funny, like the Freaky Friday. Why does the Warrior player get to say nigga, 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 nigga? After the coach said, you can't fucking say that. I can't say nigga, 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 nigga. It's great because he says, I can't say it, but then says it. A second witness present to the event recalled it in the same terms. 2 witnesses said they heard the reports of the incident. Sarver sent the email to the league office complaining about the officiating during the game. And he reported a quote of the Warriors player saying the N-word and spelled it out with an A at the end. So it was nigga, not nigger. Okay, I like that. Quoting a player's family member. In 2010 and in 2017, Sarver said the N-word when repeating what a player's family member said while boarding the team plane. An anecdote Sarver recounted was the family member who is black boarded the plane, looked around and remarked, white folks in the front, N-words in the back. 2 witnesses, each present for the different instances of the story, recall him saying the N-word when he said the story. Now he is suspended for an entire year. And he was fined $1 million. And you know what they're going to probably make him do? Sell the team. And I promise you guys, this is going to hurt him more. Because it's not about the money with these guys. Yeah. They're already billionaires. It's about owning niggas. Yeah. And I say this with the utmost sincerity. I don't think they don't want to whip them. They don't want to like do the old school slavery shit. But imagine living in a world where you own 15 of the most in shape, finely tuned niggas that would do whatever, that go out and beat up on other ones. It's like having the coolest fucking toys in the world. I would own them if I ever become a multi-billionaire. I want to own niggas too. I know you don't look at it like that. I get the problem with history is that you got to learn how to take the good, the bad, and the ugly. You also got to learn how to use context. You also got to learn how to when you can't use words and when you can't. Now, the only reason he didn't get his ass whooped because he's a billionaire, and you want to be able to make money. So, like, that's the only reason there's so much better things you can do with $1 billion than own 15 people. But you know what? It's only 30 people that can do it. 30 people in the world, Craig. And what's so cool is some of these people are so rich that they own multiple ones. And you get to own white people too. Baseball, you get to own white people, Dominicans, because like you can't. I don't know all the different. I'm not gonna get into. I'm only gonna say the word. See, I know how to only say the words I'm supposed to say. So I ain't gonna use Miles can say it as he's one of them. He's Hispanic. I can't. I'm not Hispanic. Hispanic people can use our word because half of them look like us. But we can't use that word. You know what? I'm cool with not using that word. I don't want to get, that's not why I want not eliminated. What do they call that shit? I don't want to get, I'm not that good at my job.
We also don't use it. We don't say that word.
Right. I mean, I know I could get canceled. So, like, shit. But if I was but you know what? If I'm a billionaire, fuck it. My money is really good. Like, you know what? Feel free, bro. Like, do your thing. Take this L. Go start your own goddamn league. Do whatever you want to do. Go invest in the WNBA. Shout out. I'm not gonna talk about it today. I'm talking about it on Friday. But there's this new Pilgrim girl that's a sophomore in high school in Canada. I mean, girl is relative, but that motherfucker can dunk better than most boys her age. But yeah. But again, I've never heard a situation where the N-word has been used and something great has come out of it when you're not black. So I would just say don't say it. Just my advice, but I'm not a billionaire either. So you've done whatever you need to do. More advice is stop telling people how to vote when the states that vote consistently one way are way shittier. See, every day because I follow, and this is Brett Favre, I am a registered Republican. I have friends who are staunch Republicans. I have friends who are staunch Democrats. Both sides are staunchly stupid because they believe that everything blood or everything Crip is all right. And that's how the world should be. New York has their fucking problems. California has their fucking problems. But you know what state really has the most problems right now? Fucking Mississippi. Two states that I would never go to, Mississippi and Alabama. I'm fucking terrified of them. I was terrified of them before. But now, them motherfuckers ain't got water. Like when I go to the faucet, I don't drink city water, but I take baths in them. We're not rich enough to take baths in spring water in my house. But we do drink a ton of water. We have a bubbler in my house. That's the little thing you push and bloop, 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 makes the bubbles. If I can get the water thing where they can pull water from out the air, I would do that. That's how much I like water. I am a water snob. But I have never gone to the sink and turned it and it looked like liquefied shit coming out of my sink. That would disgust me to no end, and I would literally leave. Like, that is terrible. But when I think about it, the state of Mississippi is much like a lot of other places. The problem with New York, even Florida's, a lot of these other states, basically the states where there are big populations centers, you make a lot of money. So a lot of the problems can be kind of like circumvented. But Mississippi, Alabama, doing the good old boy network. And one of those things that really just bothers me and always perplexes me is how we can know certain things and know and just use them to our advantage, but then fuck up. Brett Favre is one of those guys. Brett Favre is a guy who is just, when you think about whiteness, Brett Favre is it. Like, just even look at that. We got that picture right there up.
Yeah,
Just that picture alone, just when you think of like the good all-American white guy that you want your kid to be, boom. That's that picture. It looks
like an eagle.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He in all jokes aside, he looks profound. He looks dope. His story is cool. Like he's fought his way up. He's a bootstrap guy. This man has figured out a way, like most people, to get paid to do absolutely nothing. Once you realize how much money the government wastes, like I have, you start being like, you know what? I don't mind paying for college. I don't mind doing some of the shit that they do.
Right.
We pay $1.1 trillion for an airplane that we can't use in the military. So fuck it. Pay for college.
Might as well.
At least we get some smart motherfuckers out here. We're sending money to Ukraine like they're the side bitch that keeps threatening to out us. Like, you're talking about extortion. Biden getting his ass extorted like a motherfucker right now. But Brett Favre made $140 million in the NFL. He made $140 million when that's a quarter mil, right? Not quarter mil, that's like a quarter billy right now. That didn't stop him from doing what most rich people do. You want to make more money? I ain't mad at him. The state of Mississippi paid Brett Favre $1.1 million in 2017 and 2018. So he got paid $2.2 million to make motivational speeches. They took it out of the federal welfare funds for needy families. You talk about the persona, that like right there is this face is the personification of, man, fuck them kids. Because he didn't just take it out of let's just keep going. The Mississippi State Auditor said Favre never gave the speeches. And he has demanded the money back with interest. So it wasn't just that he got paid. He got paid to do nothing. Favre says he's repaid it. He didn't pay the interest. But what happened was the auditor looked at it. $70 million in welfare funds were doled out to him, a professional wrestler, a horse farm, and a volleyball complex. The poorest state in the union that doesn't have water or proper infrastructure, a red state, took $70 million from the poorest people in the poorest state to give to the richest, and you going, this is why we need more of them in leadership. And it wasn't that, again, it wasn't like how, like they love to say, well, I didn't know. When they say the N-word, it's like, I didn't know. There's text messages.
Oh, this can't be real.
If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from?
No, not red-handed like this.
Yo! But this is what the guy says. No, we never have that information publicized. I understood you would be uneasy about it, though. Let's see what happens on Monday with the conversation with some of the folks at Southern. Maybe it will click with them, hopefully. Okay, thanks. Wow, just got off the phone with Phil Bryant. He is on board with us. He will get this done. Awesome. I needed to hear that for sure. Do you know who Phil Bryant is? Phil Bryant was the governor.
This can't be real.
Bro.
How evil is this? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, are we?
Bro.
Brutal.
Oh my God. Bro.
Yeah.
Bruh. This motherfucker got. I deal with politicians all the time. So I learned this from being growing up in the hood. I don't, say too much on the phones, and you damn sure don't text. You talk. Meet me in person and telling me this kind of shit. I don't ever do no deals like this. My deals are, you see the book bag drives, you see all the shit that I do. My shit goes to help the community. But I'm not mad at them because this is how the game is played. But this is what people don't really realize. The game is played this way, man. And if you realize how much wasted spending there is, you would truly vote all these most of these, not all, most of these motherfuckers out of office. You would bring in some new fresh blood because it's tainted. There's pee there's pee in the pool. Actually, no, there's poop in the pool. Code Brown. You gotta get these guys out, man, because it's not. And this isn't something that's new. It's something that's happened over and over. And power, yeah, power corrupts. Money corrupts. I had a friend, and this isn't what he was saying to be bad about anything, but money is a motivator. Always follow the bread. Always follow the bread. And the funny thing is that people analyze everything about me, but there's shit like this that goes on. And like, I fucking think it's hilarious. All right. Something that I think it's time for us all to admit. I am so pro women in sports. I feel like I have to say that I have a black friend. This is the black friend statement. But I know a lot of women who are extremely good at their job. I think this girl is extremely good at her job. But can we at least pretend that we're all noticing the uptick of things like this happening in student athletics? And while Miles is posting that up, I want people to realize. People say there was a scandal that came out, and I believe it was 2002. Actually, I know the guy. His sister went to Florida State, was a volleyball player. He ended up going to UCLA, but Colorado got slapped with sanctions, which is part of the reason why Eric Bieniemy can't get a job right now. For strippers and sex workers possibly being used in recruiting. Oregon has something with the Duck Girls, not Bobby Petrino, the Teflon Don, the basketball coach that's at Louisville right now, or was at Louisville. Anyway, I can't think of his name right now, but he apparently had a madam that brought girls for. Bottom line is, sex in sports is synonymous. When I went on my visit, they got me 5 of the Garden and Gold girls were bad. I dated one, Kendra Brown. She was fine. 5 girls took me took me all around Doak Campbell Stadium. They got me nachos, my favorite candy Twizzlers and lemon heads. I didn't have to get up for a soda pop. They showed me all the facilities, right? They make you feel like life as a Florida State student athlete is going to have. You go everywhere with all these beautiful women. They are literally tapping into your young hormones to get you to come. If you've never seen the movie He Got Game, you ain't got to watch the whole thing. There's one scene when he went on his visit. My man was getting a train ran on. I know women don't like the word train. I don't know what it's called, a menage maybe for men. It's a train. There's 3 people. One person, one of one sex, 2 of the other sex. One girl was riding his face, the other girl was riding his pipe. He had a great time. Titties all in his face. It happens. Sorry, mom. Happens on every recruiting visit. When my sons go on their recruiting visit, I hope this happens to them. If it doesn't, and he tells me that there were no titties in my face, we're probably not going to that school. So they're trying to encourage him to be something that we don't necessarily agree with in our house. If he wants to be that way, it's fine, but titties need to be in his face on his visit. It's been happening since the beginning of time. Timmy, you have to present us a picture of your sister. Put up what Timmy said, because the comments are going to go on YouTube. Timmy, we want to know what you said. Because, perfect example was with not Timmy's sister, which she probably is fine. I had a kid who ended up going to Washington State. He went on a visit to FAMU for homecoming last year. Tony Carter from Mandarin High School. Tony said, Coach, I ain't never seen that many beautiful black women in my life before. TC was mesmerized. That motherfucker wanted to go to FAMU so bad. Now, this young lady has a resume. Florida State's hired one. University of Florida has hired one like a snow bunny like this, and a black girl that's pretty attractive. Georgia has one of the finest black women in all of sports that's working with them. Tennessee has one. FSU, Charity is very attractive. Don't care if she sees this. Charity, you are attractive. You know this. Alabama, I think, has one. Every school is getting on this thing where they're hiring a young, extremely attractive woman, and they're giving them executive roles. So she is director of football ops at South Florida and recruiting coordinator. So football ops does a lot of things off the field. They get the hotels, they get this, blah, blah, blah. They make sure shit runs. But she's over recruiting. I'm sure her resume speaks for itself. But at this point, can we at least start admitting it? Like, and I don't even necessarily like white women, but I get the attraction that she has. They're going after your boys, guys. It's time for us to at least, like, again, so if we're going to have think pieces, and we're going to have people go to jail, and we're going to have all these other different things about boys, right? I mean, about our daughters. It's about time for us to at least admit that the same shit happens with our sons.
Right.
The same misogynistic culture in which you hate and you want to tear down, the same misogynistic culture that puts women above men. You have to at least be able to say that. It doesn't mean you're going to do anything about it. It's not going to change. I'll be honest with you. At 17 years old, that's when I met my daughter's mother. I know exactly what I wanted at 17 years old. I was already fucking. Sorry, Mom. I don't know if you knew this or not, but she probably did. I think one time she just didn't want to know. So, like, if she or some of these other people would have approached me when I was 17 and said, hey, I'm going to give you the draws if you commit, you know what I'm doing? I'm committing, man. Sorry, man. Now, 8 o'clock brought to you by Green Acres Sporting Goods. Green Acres Sporting Goods is the go-to outdoor shop. Green Acres, you can get your guns. You can get one, first and foremost. If you haven't paid attention, if you're a rapper, Green Acres in Jacksonville, Green Acres is where you need to go. Let's go get you some legit weapons. If you're a regular civilian, go get your concealed carry license. You have to take the course first. The course is done during lunch every day of the week. It's very cheap, quick and easy, in and out. You also have all your guns. Everything is reasonably priced. They still have AR-15s for all you people who are worried about them going away. Maybe my guy Anthony Richardson didn't look like AR-15 this past weekend, so maybe he does need to change his name. Hopefully he comes back to looking like an AR-15. So, fishing equipment, bows and arrows, crossbows, safes, coolers, anything that you need for the outdoor life experience. My guys at Green Acres and Z and them going to take care of you. You go up there and tell them Big Game sent you, man. They're going to take good care of you. They'll give you a really nice pin to sign the receipt. Now, the legal system, very imperfect. Sometimes they put judges in situations where they don't even get to use common sense. Iowa, there was a teenage human traffic victim. She was charged with first-degree murder after she stabbed her rapist to death. So with that, murder 1 gets you life. I want to repeat that. She received first-degree murder for stabbing her rapist to death. She meant violence, which rape is violent crime, with violence. And she was charged. Her sentence has been reduced to 5 years probation. And she's ordered to pay $150,000 in restitution to that man's family. Meaning, for the rest of her life, more than likely, she will have to pay. Now, I know there's a GoFundMe, and at the time, when I looked at it this morning, it was about $107,000 raised. But there's going to be money taken out of her pockets for the rest of her life, more than likely, to pay the family of the person who made her life a living hell. And it's all because of the laws that are in Iowa. I believe Iowa is a red state. And the fact that she was 17 years old, she pled to involuntary manslaughter in June of 2020. Excuse me, she's 17 she's 17 now. So she was younger when she did this. The court is presented with no other options. Restitution is mandatory under Iowa law, and it's been upheld by the Supreme Court. She was 15 years old when she stabbed Brooks more than 30 times in a Des Moines, Iowa apartment. She was a runaway who was seeking to escape an abusive life with her adopted mother. The 28-year-old man took her in before forcing her to have sex with other men. One of the men was Brooks, and that he had raped her multiple times in the weeks before his death. She recounted being forced at knife point by the 28-year-old man to go with Brooks to his apartment for sex. She told officials that after Brooks had raped her yet again, she grabbed the knife from a bedside table and stabbed him in a fit of rage. The police and prosecutors have not disputed that Lewis was sexually assaulted and trafficked. The prosecutors have argued that Brooks was asleep at the time he was stabbed and not an immediate danger to Lewis. Iowa is not among the dozens of states that have a so-called safe harbor law that gives trafficking victims at least some level of criminal immunity. It's crazy. Because what's the wildest part in this is that it went through multiple chains, right? So police and prosecutors have not disputed that Lewis was sexually assaulted in traffic, which means they believe that this probably happened. And a prosecutor got that across his desk and still decided to go through with this. The state, which we all believe, again, when I talked about Bloods and Crips, the state believes that this shouldn't happen. And the excuse was that after a girl who's been repeatedly raped and is in a situation that's desperate, oh, because he was asleep, she should have been able to leave. Where would she go? As opposed to saying, damn, you know what? Looks like karma to me. It's wild the things that we want to oversee and prosecute. And like things that are out of people's control. That's the stuff that we want to really go hardest after, as opposed to the things that people can't control. Those are the things that we force people to apologize for. Those are the things that we try to like make like a big deal about, like strippers. I always like to try to end things on a light note. And here's what I want. I know my boys love their mother. Mama gonna get taken care of until she die. Daddy probably gonna be put in the home. So I gotta make as much money as I can. And I love my boys. I think my boys love me. But I've also trained them to take care of their mom. All I ask is that I be put in the home like this. The New York Post says nursing home hires strippers for seniors in wheelchairs. And they say we are very sorry. I don't see what the problem is. I just talked about a guy who's near and dear to my heart. He got see some titties on his way out. This people don't get visited by their family. Have you been to a nursing home recently? It's very, very, very depressing. My mom had to go in a nursing home because that's also like when they run out of space in rehab clinics for like your surgeries, they put you in one of these places because they double as a rehab clinic. So my mom was in one of these places, and I got a chance to come hang out with her for a little bit, and the shit sucked. It was depressing to see some of these people walk around, talk to themselves, have no family members come by. And I think a little lap dance for Big Daddy ain't a problem. Letting them see some titties ain't a problem. A nursing home has been forced to apologize for hiring strippers to perform for senior citizens in wheelchairs. The Veterans Home, a state-run facility, this is in Taiwan, for Army personnel in Taiwan, paid adult entertainer for a steamy show to celebrate Mid-Autumn Festival, an important holiday in Chinese culture whereby people gather to celebrate the rice and wheat harvest of the season. The video of the raunchy performance, which took place last Thursday, was filmed by an attendee before it was posted to social media and quickly went viral. The kinky clip shows the masked up, she was safe, erotic dancer clad in lacy lingerie giving one elderly man a lap dance and thrusting her breast in his face. The man doesn't appear to mind. It can be seen squeezing the woman's assets. Other nursing home residents clap, relishing in the raunchy show. Seems like these men were happy. Again, I think this nursing home deserves to charge more money. This is looking at the last years of your life. You deserve to be happy. Go out on a good note, man. Appreciate you guys coming at an earlier time today. We'll be on at 9:30 on Friday, Miles. Ish. Remember, it's always ish. So anywhere between 9:30 and 9:45, we'll be on Friday. Get it in early. We're going to do some pick'em games. We're going to do a lot of other different stuff with that. Check out tomorrow. I think I should be releasing the interview with Jeff Culhane. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to just do another show where I strictly talk about the games within the big three, really big, the regional games, break down that stuff. Not sure yet. Don't know how much I like y'all. But anyways, I appreciate y'all chopping it up with me. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all hump day. Go get some action. Peace.
You know him better than I do, but he's just like a really aggressive Asian